Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research.
Good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and welcome you back to another Mango Daily video. So this is going to be an update to our SUI trade that we discussed a day or so ago. Now, we were looking at this really nice breakout of the structure and we had a couple of criteria, right? We wanted to play the breakout, but at the same time, we wanted SUI to allow itself to break back into the range. But again, you need a hard limit as to how deep you're going to allow SUI to break back into the range before you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to exit and look to reposition based on new information. And what we were looking at was the 12-hour dynamic right over here. And I said I'm going to keep you guys updated based on any updates that we do get on the 12-hour dynamic and price action. As you guys can see, SUI did pull back. So we were right to allow SUI to pull back into range. That has been a winning strategy for the entirety of the cycle, right? Do not expect breakouts to see continuation without allowing the prospect of it breaking back into range before moving back to the upside, right? So what do I mean by that? Essentially, if you have a structure that is like an ascending triangle, for example, right? And then you see price oscillate in the ascending triangle, break to the upside. The usual way people would like to trade this is say, hey, I'm going to buy the breakout and expect continuation to the upside immediately, right? But that has not been a winning strategy this cycle at all. How you should be playing it is saying something like, okay, you know what? I won't be part of this trade. I'm going to buy the breakout since I want it so bad, but I'm going to allow room for this to come back into the range and I'll get the rest of my position into the range, right? So you're allowing for price to come back down. Now, if it continues, all well and good, okay? You can play that and you're already in position and maybe you can buy as price goes up further. But allowing for price to come back into the range after breakout has been the way to go this entire cycle. Now, again, as you guys can see, SUI did the same thing. However, at least me, I had a hard limit as to how deep I'm going to allow SUI to come back into the range before I say, you know what, this is not showing the strength I want to see. Yes, it's broken back into the range. Yes, this has not broken structure yet, right? Because we could still put a high low somewhere underneath the 12-hour dynamic. But personally, this is not the kind of price action I want to see for a momentum trade that I was looking to play. Now, we can restructure our trade and we will be doing that right now, looking for the next trade opportunity. But that particular trade, that 12-hour break back into the range trade, that's done, right? So as soon as you close underneath the 12-hour dynamic, that part of your trade or that particular trade on SUI needed to be invalidated, exited, and now you look for the next position. So the market actually allowed you to exit very cleanly. So on the next 12-hour candle, had you not exited immediately, which is what I did, you had a chance to exit above the 12-hour dynamic. And you'll see this often, by the way. You'll see this often. The market is extremely generous. You'll be allowed to buy on support, trend support in this case, and then sell above the trend support even though you're wrong. So often you're going to be allowed to exit in a profit even though you were wrong on your trade, right? And there's no reason, guys, to get egotistic about these kind of things. Far too many people think that because they put on a trade, they are vouching for that asset and that asset should go up or reflects on their character. No. The asset needs to live up to your expectations, not the other way around. The asset doesn't live up to your expectations, break up with the asset, right? That's how you need to approach trading and investing too in the long term. If an investment does not live up to your expectations, you need to break up with it as well. Bitcoin in the long term, if it does not live up to my expectations of what I want from it as a protocol, as an asset, I am going to break up with it, right? So far, it's been, we have a good relationship, me and Bitcoin, so no reason to end that relationship. But either way, you guys get my point. I'm going to stop rambling. Let's talk about the next trade. Remember, just because the 12-hour trade did not work out, that doesn't mean there's no trade to be had whatsoever on SUI. In fact, we may have even a better trade to reposition in even a better position and an easier stress-free trade moving forward. And hey, if you guys want to follow along with this trade and looking to practice your leverage trading, take advantage of BitUnex's amazing campaign running at the moment. All you have to do is use the Mango link in the bottom of the description, themangoway.com/BitUnex. And for every $2,000 that you deposit, you get $400 given back to you for free that you can use to practice your leverage trading if you're uncomfortable with it. Use it to pad your losses, and hey, use it to even buff up your profits, right? They're essentially giving you a free 20% trade. That's the best way to think about it. And hey, if you do deposit, you also qualify for the $2,000 giveaway on the live streams. All of this is ending in just a few days. Okay, so let's talk about the next trade idea on SUI. And what we're going to do over here is switch on over to the 2-day time frame. And yes, you guys heard me right, the 2-day SUI trade yet again. And for those of you who are new here and don't know what I'm talking about, we have traded SUI on the 2-day dynamic for 2 mega trades now, right? All the way back in the 2023 cycle, where we put on the SUI trade at around 55 cents, all the way up to $2. It was a simple trade idea: hold SUI as long as it's holding the 2-day dynamic, all the way up to our $2 target. It did that and then lost the 2-day dynamic. It was the perfect trade. And then we saw a trend all the way down to the downside, put on the same trade again over here in 2024, and this time our target was around $7.50, or if we lose the 2-day dynamic. That's what trend trading is, right? Your trend allows you to manage your risk. Your target is a nice to hit, but the risk is first. Losing the trend and you're out of the trade, period, right? So we held the trade all the way up to around $5, lost the trend at around 4.30, got out of the trade at around 4.30, and then watched the trend all the way back down to around $1.60, right? Now we can look towards the 2-day dynamic yet again. And I want to make something very, very clear. This time, when we're looking at the 2-day dynamic, it's not going to be the same as when we were looking at it for our previous trend trades, right? Back then, we were looking for a strong trend continuation of the 2-day dynamic. This time, what's more important to me is this neckline structure right over here. We're just going to be using the 2-day dynamic as confluence. So this red box is lining up with the top of the 2-day dynamic, but we're going to go ahead and make some adjustments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch to the 4-day dynamic, okay? Because now I want to be playing SUI off some higher time frames. I want to give it some space to be able to pull back and scare the market a tad bit more, allowing us to get deeper bids if we see the opportunity without getting shook out. Because if SUI was going to show us that strength, it should have shown us that strength on the first test of the 12-hour dynamic. We should have seen this 12-hour dynamic get picked up. The market wasn't too keen. Over here, however, on this test of the 12-hour dynamic, we saw the market pick it up and hold above, right? But that was coming in confluence with our red box territory. So we know that this red box that we marked out months ago is really, really important, telling us that the higher time frames on SUI is what's more important. We need to give the market enough time to finish its accumulation if it wants to do so. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pull this red box all the way down to the bottom of the 4-day dynamic. What we have essentially done now, guys, is created a zone between the 2-day dynamic and the 4-day dynamic. Now again, guys, these levels will update as the market progresses. So make sure to hit that notification icon and the subscribe, so that way you're not missing on any crucial updates as we see more price action, because a lot may change. Okay, if we do not see the pullback that I want to see very, very soon, we may need to readjust our strategy. So make sure you're following along with these videos. At the time of this recording though, the top of this red box is coming in at 353 and the bottom of this red box is coming in at 325. That's going to be the bid zone that we're looking at. We may not get down there, but if we do so in the next few days, I'm going to be very, very excited to bid it, and I'll be looking for a strong reaction. A weak reaction is not going to be what I want to see, especially if that move happens within the next day or two. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about targets. Have our targets changed? No, our targets are still the same. We have an interim target of around 553. Remember, that's Krisha's target, this blue line over here. But I have a zone marked out at around 571 all the way down to 530. Okay, that's my red box territory. If we can punch through that and close some good candles above it, I'll be looking at around 670 all the way up to 720. And what do you know? That lines up with the middle of our red box territory from our previous trade, where we were looking for 7 to 750. Now again, SUI may break past all of these levels and go even further, but let's take it one step at a time. Let's wait for SUI to actually break out of this massive structure convincingly before we look for much higher targets. So hit that like, hit the subscribe, make sure you guys are following along. And for quicker real-time updates, make sure to join the Mango Discord at themangoway.com/Discord. We are always posting updated charts of the Mango dynamic. And here you can even request someone to post an updated chart of the Mango dynamic, and people are happy to help. I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it easy, keep it mango, keep it stress free.